with this new breed of competition.
And what's interesting is we saw another situation where the #1 seed had to run for his money as Cam beat Tyroy.
Really? No.
According to my notes here from Sage, our stream runner, Cam actually beat Tyroy.
Wow, that's a huge upset.
I mean, hey, when we got the Bayonetta practice with players like Iggy and Aerolink in our region,
yeah,
it makes sense. He knows the matchup. And now we're going to be seeing Cam against 1N, a Dedede main. Not something that we see all that often in either one of our regions.
We've seen, like, we have, like, Technique, we have Royalty, and, like, Rev.0 in Wisconsin. Those are the two from Chicago, but that's about it. Dedede, a very unexplored character. A lot of people think he's not good, but he has a lot of interesting stuff if you really know how to play him.
This is the thing about Cam overall is he does everything, right? He is willing to play so patient and consistently set up these walls with these peanuts and these banana peels. Just players just get so flustered and so frustrated. And I wouldn't be surprised if 1N starts feeling that pressure as well. I mean, already we're seeing the percent difference being absolutely massive, but Rage is, again, a mechanic that benefits these larger bodies so much.
And heavyweights, you know, they say that damage doesn't affect them that much, but Dedede only needs now about 4 hits, and the game's even.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's not one of them, but he's going to live there because he's a big fat penguin.
A big old penguin.
But yeah, it's going to mean Cam is going to have to work a little bit harder. Because right now, we've seen him hit him 3 times for 62%, whereas Diddy Kong has been assaulting him, and he's been in kill percent forever, and it's still not happening.
Yeah, that's the name of the game with matchups like these. Is so you have the dynamic of one character who gets a lot of little wins versus a character who gets a couple of really big wins. And this might be a really big win. Cam off stage and 1N on the verge of actually making a great turnaround. Gets the grab, missing with the follow-up aerial, though. Cam back on stage.
He wanted that real bad, and he made the right play. That Gordo trapped him in shield, and he got the grab. DTD's grab game is not as good as it was nearly as good as it was in Brawl.
Most certainly not.
But he can still do some good stuff. Forward tilt. Now, yeah, Diddy Kong is way in kill percent for a lot of stuff.
Shielding both the Gordo as well as the forward smash and then getting the knockdown that he needs.
And I think that was a bit of a misplay by 1N there. He wanted those hits to stagger so it would do more shield damage or possibly get him to drop shield. But they hit at the same time and he was able to power shield one and then stay in shield for the other.
Yeah, that was just really, really well played, I think, by Cam, at least going for the shield. But you're absolutely right. The mix-up on timing would have given 1N the advantage in that situation.
See another grab, and Lightning Cam, after getting caught by that one time, he's realizing that all he has to do is jump out of it.
Doing a much better job, I think, of making sure he's DIing away as well. But right there, falling aerial. And now we're seeing what we saw in that first stock where it's a 100% deficit. And it's the game definitely in Cam's favor. But like you said, he just needs 3 hits to bring it back.
And just his neutral B, his breathe in, breathe out, just 11%. Like, it doesn't require all that much, but that'll do it.
That'll definitely do it.
That was like the tip of his knuckles on that forward smash was able to get it. But, I mean, even though percents may not say it that way, that was an awfully close match because DTD didn't need all that much to take that game.
I think Cam is starting to remember maybe some of the interactions he's had with some of our DDD players like D Koopa Kid, also known as Emperor.
Yeah.
Or maybe, oh man.
Starting to like the SpongeBob scene when they're like going through the files trying to find like all the little men in his head were like looking through the files like where's the DTD files, where's the DTD files, and then about like 3/4 through that match he's like, okay, here they are, I got this, you're done.
No problem. And now Cam should have a much better understanding of exactly what 1N is doing. But the same could be said about 1N. The one thing about Cam is he is very consistent, but that can also be his fall whenever we see him in matches. On one hand, it's really good to have that solid game plan you rely on, but you need the mix-ups to back it up as well.
And not necessarily autopilot, but when again, you need to have those mix-up. And so far, like you said, Cam does all the right things, but he's only doing those things.
Exactly, and I think that 1N has really caught on to that. This is looking much more in his favor overall. The percents might not say so, but when you compare the body weights as well as the KO power that both these characters possess.
Yeah, Diddy has to do a lot more work in the situation to get the kill than DTD ever will.
Yeah, for reference sake, I believe both of Cam's KOs were averaging around the 140%, whereas for 1N it was closer to
like
the
90,
low triples.
Yeah, it was like 95 when he got the final hit, which pushed him up a little bit higher. But yeah, less than 100 and easily could kill him now. Now, as we move forward with this match, the key percent to keep in mind for D3 is 3%. any attack that does 3% will knock Gordo's back.
Really?
Yeah, any 3% or more. So like the banana pull, I don't think knocks back Gordo's because it only does like 1% if it hits. Same thing with Peanuts. I'm not sure Peanuts knock them back either. I could be wrong on that, but our local DTD main, Rev.0, gave that information to me. So Peanuts do knock it back, but
it's the little things. It's all
Yeah.
about those little things. Cam's starting to pick up on the little things. This is still such a close match, even with 1N at this kind of a deficit.
yeah, he doesn't, like I said, oh wow, that Gordo almost got him.
I feel like that was maybe a pixel away from being Cam's demise.
So, and that, I mean, with DTD having multiple jumps here, it's definitely, you have to put him into the blast zone because he's coming back from anything else. Good nair. Good falling nair, goes past the ledge.
And you know what you touched on is exactly why he picked this stage. A stage with these massive blast zones like Battlefield will only make Cam's job even more difficult.
Falls out of the up smash there. Another thing to keep in mind too is that as far as anti-Diddy play, is that if Diddy has banana in hand, all you need to do is hang out by the ledge, because if the banana hits you and you DI left, you'll go right to the ledge and he can't follow up from that.
Yeah, it's pretty darn difficult to really get anything succinct from that, isn't it?
I mean, and that's the thing is, we saw a couple of times that 1N is content with having his back to the wall, because that means that Diddy can only come from one way. He can't attack from, like, with the movement options that he has, it's typically difficult to pin down where Diddy's going to be. But, I mean, either you're putting yourself off stage if your back's to the wall or not.
Speaking of off stage, 1N finding his moments, getting that up air and putting Cam down at just one. He's in a way better position, I feel, in this game than he was in the last.
Now we're actually seeing that the counter to that ledge play that 1N's thrown out. Good adjustments from Cam, throwing out Peanuts, meaning that you're going to force you to approach, otherwise you're just going to eat this delicious nut diet.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he's not anaphylactic. That's the big thing.
And wow, like just that. The adjustments and counter adjustments that both these players have made in this match, while it seems like they're mostly in Cam's favor, 1N is no slouch either. You can tell that he knows how to play DTD to a high level. And pretty much if you play heavyweight, you have to. Like, you have to know your main really well.
They really do. I think that some of the players who actually play these massive characters are some of the most intelligent people in the community. I mean, they are just so smart about the game, as well as their characters and how they interact with everyone else in the cast. Right there, you're talking about the peel in regards to that proximity to the ledge, but Cam now getting the peel into center allows him to find the combo follow-up.
And that's because that Peanut game that Cam's been utilizing forced 1N to come in. If Lightning Cam can't figure out a different way, like all 1N really needs to do is sit and shield here. I mean, obviously the timeout is a possible threat, but that's more of one.
Yeah, I wasn't even looking at the clock. I was so transfixed on the percent. And while we saw that 1N had the ability to close out the stocks, unfortunately, he was always on the back foot, right? He never was able to actually close the stock out first despite the deficit, like we saw from Chompy.
Yeah, absolutely. And